everyone. Hi. It's amazing to see all your bright, shiny faces here. The content that we've had this morning is absolutely amazing, and every single talk I listened to and the exercise we did this morning sort of rises up that sensation of, oh, there's so much good we can do in this world. Is everyone feeling it? Yes. Okay, can I get like an, oh, yeah? Woo. So it's an honor to be able to share what we've been working on and hopefully inspire everyone here to move forward the needle in consciousness. Take it away, Graeme.
Yeah, so we're very excited to share with you a little bit of our idea. What? Yeah, okay, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I think you've heard from Tim and others about the onset of this interest, this incredible interest in neurotechnology that has come up. Something feels different now. There's big money, there's big interest, there's a lot of attention being paid to neurotechnology in ways that weren't even happening necessarily 3 years ago. So we're entering a new phase of the deployment and utility of neurotechnology in everyday life. So, one of the things that we do is work on something called electroencephalography. And there's a little bit more to it than just electroencephalography. But the thing that is most exciting about EEG is that it's been around for 90 years and suddenly it's changing. It was discovered in 1924 or invented by Hans Berger in Jena. And because it's been worked on by academic scientists for nearly 100 years, there's just an unbelievably rich literature of all kinds of useful things that we can do with EEG that we could never do outside of the lab, and now we can.
So I started this journey of working with EEG with these people. So this is either the hottest group of 1994 about to drop the techno album of the year, or it's the MIT computing group from the same year. Probably the latter, because on the left there is Dr. Steve Mann, the accredited inventor of the wearable computer. I had the honor of beginning to work with Steve and my co-founders, Chris Amity and Trevor Coleman, and we began working with an early brain-computer interface system that we tried to teach people to control the world with. We made things like thought-controlled toasters and thought-controlled slot car machines. We were using our mind to control technology. And along the way, we were doing something really interesting. We were using our mind and letting technology teach us how to control our own minds. Through the process of trying to make a light get brighter, we had to increase our focus. We had to quiet our mind. We had to push ourselves into that thing and discover what it was inside of us that allowed us to change the world. Really, we were teaching ourselves to meditate. So we recognized the best use of this amazing thought-controlled technology was not to control technology with our minds, but to let us understand and control the technology inside of our own heads. So we created this device that probably a lot of you are familiar with. It is the Muse. It's a brain-sensing headband, clinical-grade EEG, 4 channels, 2 frontal, 2 temporal, 2 on the forehead, 2 behind the ears, tracks your brain data in real time and sends it to your smartphone or tablet. And we applied it to the best problem that we could think of to help humanity solve: how to get people meditating, more people meditating. When you meditate, you've got this black box going on in your head. You're sitting there trying to let your mind go quiet, and you have no idea what's actually going on except for the beautiful powers that we have to inquire within ourselves. We wanted to augment that process and open the window to the mind so you could actually see inside and get real-time feedback on what's actually going on inside your brain while you meditate. So we created a beautiful application experience that lets you actually hear what goes on in your mind during meditation. That was super cool. It's being used by hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people for millions and millions of sessions of meditation. We thought that was amazing. Let's kick it up a notch. So these are the Smith glasses. They're also, believe it or not, an EEG reader. Inside of these totally normal-looking glasses is the same EEG technology, temporal and frontal, tracking your brain, as well as a suite of sensors: accelerometer, gyroscope, magnetometer, UV sensor, etc. And then
So the obvious question is, does this actually work? Does this help you learn to meditate? And thankfully, the answer is, yeah, it actually has some of the similar outcomes to meditation. You can use very standard psychometric measures of mental health, brain health, even some of the mindfulness measures. And what you see is that, yeah, in as little as 4 weeks, and starting even maybe at 2 weeks, you get results similar to those you get for MBSR, MBCT, et cetera. This is the PSS-10, so we're seeing a significant improvement in as little as 4 weeks, 10 minutes a day. This is from Michele Balconi's lab in Milan. Now, we'll take a quick step back and talk a little bit about something having to do with neuroplasticity. So if I show you a flashing dot and I ask you to count the number of dots you see, and I play you this for maybe a minute or two, what I'm going to see is if I process the EEG data, we know very well, because we know about all of these brain networks associated with perception and action, where these things happen in the brain. And we can signal average over a very short number of trials, and we get very characteristic waveforms that are not so much EEG as something called an evoked potential. So Tim talked a little bit about this, but what it is the onset of every stimulus, your brain does some little thing that's usually hidden in amongst the other signals, but when we signal average and filter, these things pop out. And these are highly sensitive to fatigue and impairment, and they're very, very plastic. They're sensitive to learning, they're sensitive to change related to stress, they're sensitive to a lot of different things, and that makes them a very powerful tool for measuring brain health and brain plasticity. So if we go back to our diagram of, or our outcomes on psychometrics of learning meditation with Muse, we see in this same group, there's a change in the P3 response. So this is a cognitive potential at about 300 milliseconds after stimulus onset. This is in an executive control task, and we see this plastic change in 4 weeks among Muse meditators. So this suggests that there's a neuroplastic change happening that is powerfully influencing the brains of the people using Muse as a meditation tool. We can even go so far as to say, if we use, and this is really, I think, a first for a $179 device. You know, these things used to cost $179,000. I think this is what Nicole means when she talks about exponential change, is 3 or 4 orders of magnitude cost reduction for tools that are very powerful for measuring the brain. So if I show you one of these two, or if any scientist who downloads these free tools shows you one of these two diffraction gratings, we see very different brain responses depending on which one you saw. And in as little as 5 or 10 presentations, we can classify with perfect accuracy which one your brain saw. So this potentiates powerful uses in things like neuroadaptive interfaces. So you can go upstairs and you can try Helium XR now, which is a great utilization of EEG technology in virtual reality. And we can even go beyond that and incorporate these things comfortably into VR headsets. So this is a prototype we built for the National Research Council of Canada that allows us to build neuroadaptive VR and AR to measure what information the brain is processing and to adapt the experience accordingly, not just EEG signals, but biosignals in general. I think that this is encouraging because what we're seeing now is with these tools, we get exponential growth in adoption amongst scientists. So even just in Muse alone, and Muse is just one of the EEG headsets out there, you know, we see this kind of exponential growth curve in the number of peer-reviewed papers citing tools like this. So we build these tools for you, for the community, to do powerful things with, and we make them accessible and open because we want people to be able to work with them. In addition to the Muse meditation learning app and the research tools apps that we build ourselves, there is a whole suite of partner apps built on our software development kit and API that give you access to powerful tools like MNE Python that synchronize with LSL, that give you all kinds of precise timing information, signal processing toolboxes, and you see great things like Peer, MindLift, Helium Wellness, Muse Monitor, and so many more. Even free teaching tools for undergraduate and high school neuroscience like EEG 101. And the data structures are all very well characterized and built to research industry standards.
So that's what we've done in the past. And we're really excited today to be sharing something with you that is really new for us. We spent the last year building it, trying to widen the gateway of ways that people can learn to meditate and entry points from this practice. And it's just amazing timing that we're able to be here to share it with our trans technology community. So this is Muse 2. It is slimmer and lighter than the original Muse and packed with even more sensor technology. So those of you who know Muse 1 knew that we have sensors on the forehead and behind the ears to track the brain. Well, as we all know, meditation is much more than the brain. Meditation is about how we breathe, how we feel, how we move, how our heart beats, and probably many more things that we have yet to characterize. So in Muse 2, we added additional sensors that track the breath, the heart, and the body during your practice, and allow you to have tools to also characterize and deepen your experience. So the body sensors track your movement as you meditate and guide you into a posture of stillness. When you're able to find stillness in your mind, you're more readily able to find stillness. When you find stillness in your body, you're more readily able to find stillness in your mind. Probably also goes both ways. Muse's breath sensing technology tracks your breath and guides you. and gives you real-time feedback on your breathing as well as exercises that you can use to energize yourself or calm you down. We all know the breath is the foundation of a contemplative science practice. It's also the foundation of our own physiology. And as we learn to monitor and manage our own breathing, we can begin to shift and access different physiological states. On this very same device, there's a heart sensor. So we've added a PPG monitor right here next to the EEG to track each and every one of your heartbeats. And we give you a beautiful real-time experience that's not just a number on your wrist about how your heart is doing, it actually lets you hear the sound of your heart, each and every beat like the beating of a drum. So you can learn to tap into it and really discover what for you helps you elevate it and calm it down. And then of course, there's the classic brain feedback that gives you real-time feedback on your brain activity during meditation. So there is real-time experience, and then there's also data after the fact. So you can see what your brain, your body, your heart, your mind, your breath were doing during the course of your experience. And of course, each and every one of these sensors is open to the dev community to build on top of with the dev tools that we're going to have coming shortly. We also have a device, a new platform called Muse Connect that can track multiple people's meditation simultaneously. So we have clinicians that use it with their patients, and we have yoga studios that use it in meditation practice with their entire audience. Because the goal of all of this is to find deeper and deeper tools for connection. Tools for connection inside yourself, tools for connection between each and every one of us in the local community, tools for connection between all of us in the greater community, so that we can all together find the right ways to help shift and grow love in each of us. So much love to all of you, so much love to Nicole, so much love to everything that you're building. Thank you.